Ladies and gentlemen, today is February 3rd, 2014, and this is the KNKL Show, episode 161. I'm your host, Keenan Lafferty, and today is Emma Monday, where we like to jump into working on our beloved comic. And I'm feeling a bit, my stomach is feeling a bit upset. I think I had a little bit too much pajolis, and that would be ravioli stuffed with mashed potatoes. I don't know what the heck was up with those, but I am not feeling too good. Maybe it was those nachos, those leftover nachos from Super Bowl Sunday. That might have been it. But anyway, okay, first announcement before we jump into working on the comic, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has gotten us past our next goal, which was $300 on the Patreon. Sent out all your prints today, so you should be getting those within the week. And our next goal is $450, so if you want to join us on Patreon, you get this awesome print of the realistic portrait of Emma sent to you for free. I should probably close down Skype while we're at it. Yeah, and you can just click that little link down there if you want, if you're on YouTube. And let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be looking at today, because we're working on our comic and I'm so happy. This is going to be your little preview of, and bear in mind there might be some minor spoilers. I know you can't see what they're saying, but minor spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, then wait till Wednesday to look at this. But, at any rate, we're just going to be working on this today. And I prepared a time-lapse to show you guys how I got to this point. This is what I was working on today, for the most part. Did a little bit last night. But, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the time-lapse right now. And I will pause for some reflection every now and then while I'm talking about what I'm doing. Okay, okay, yeah, this is good. Okay, so, and how are you guys doing? I hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm so happy that you guys are back, that you have returned in one piece. It's so good to see you alive and kicking once again. And, yeah, we're just going to be talking about comics today, talking about good comics. And I'm really excited for this week because we got some awesome stuff planned for the Tutorial Tuesday, as well as, I mean, Wednesdays are always awesome because I get to draw your characters, and Thursdays are good too. Actually, I've been hearing some really good stuff. I got a new journal right here. So I've been writing down some new stuff that I want to share with you guys on Thursdays. But that is another conversation for another time. Let's get into what we are working on here, which is just drawing Emma. A very, very complicated process. It requires much time and skill and knowledge of drawing circles, right, and measurements and all that stuff. And the biggest thing I've been noticing lately is just like the differences between how I started the comic with Emma's style. I had a picture of her before, but anyway, just like the style of Emma from the beginning and what it's slowly becoming. And what I'm starting to realize more than anything is that this is happy Emma, right, with the giant eyes. And originally I thought of it as being like this, right? Oh crap. Freaking awesome. Alright, well that's going to open up fireworks, but in the meantime, this is what I imagine happy Emma looking like. Like, this was her pupils. That's as big as her pupils got. And now fireworks is so conveniently coming up and clogging up the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's great. That's awesome, fireworks. Thank you. I cannot wait to get a whole new rig. Please just go away. Okay, so this is supposed to be happy Emma, right? And that was as big as their pupils got. So I was like, okay, so people will just have to pay attention to when the difference between when our pupils are this big and when they're this big, right? But now what I'm starting to realize is, you know, you really have to spell things out, right? Because people are, you know, I'm spending hours on these pictures, so I know everything. I know all the intricacies of everything that's happening within the shot and everything. And I'm spending hours basically looking at these panels. And when people are reading these, they're looking at a panel for tops 1 second, right? So they're not going to take the time to realize like the minute differences, right? If you want something, it's something that is as important as Emma's personality changes happening, that needs to basically be spelt out to the degree of being unmistakable. So I've really been starting to like kick up the contrast with the difference between her eyes when she's happy as well as when she's sad. So yeah. One thing that you guys might want to know as I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. These are the sketches, but I say this every time, and I'm just going to show you one more time, show you again. I've told you 100 times, I'm going to tell you 101 times. This is what my comic pages start like. This is called the layout stage, or the sketches, actually. Layout or sketches, whatever you want to call it. So this is where I'm basically just figuring out positioning of the characters, basic facial expressions, and it's really funny because I'm always referring back to these. Like that face right there, that captures the emotion and the expression perfectly. And I'm constantly like, after I draw Emma's face, like within the cleaned up layout, I'm referring back to this to make sure that the expression is still coming through. So yeah, this was the only one that I really kind of kept cleaned up because I really kind of saw it, and I don't know, I was kind of spacing out, so I kind of cleaned it up. But yeah, I really like this. And this is the one I'm going to be working on today. And hopefully I can demonstrate to you how I draw something simply like this and then try to capture the essence of these expressions in the final drawing. So, let's go ahead and continue with our time lapse, shall we? Shall we? And yeah, I wonder how you guys are doing over here. Just making sure everybody can hear me. The stream is in fact running. I'm not just speaking to nobody. That is very good. That is very, very good. And yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, but I've just been having so much fun drawing Happy Emma. I never thought that I would like this. I never thought I'd like drawing like the big eye thing, but it is pretty dang cute. But I'm pretty excited for the next time we get to see Angry Emma, and that is coming up pretty soon. It's coming up pretty soon, and hopefully it's going to introduce a little bit more of a different flavor to the comic. Up till now, we've been it's been happy-go-lucky, it's been quite adventurous, kind of lighthearted and whimsical. But once we delve into Angry Emma, maybe we'll get a little bit more drama, a little bit more of a darker side of the comic. But that is still to be fully decided. And yeah, don't want to spoil too much for you. But don't worry, you will be seeing Angry Emma very soon. Yes. Alrighty then. So, another thing that I've been having a lot of challenges with, and lately I feel like I'm finally starting to get it, is just drawing Nico's face and having his face be consistent. Just with the measurements of his eyes, like how big they are. Oftentimes I make the eyes way too big on Nico and Emma, and I end up kind of like lassoing them and sizing them down. And yeah, I feel like that's happening less now. I'm using the lasso, I'm relying on the lasso less and less. I'm just able to, bam, just like slap down the character, which is exactly what I've always wanted to do. Because it's really nice being able to just lay down the character exactly how you want it to be. You know, once you get those minute measurements down. And I'm really picky. I really am picky with the art and the faces and stuff that go into this. You watch me here, I'm actually going to start adjusting Emma's face right here. Like her eyes, they were way too like long, so I actually grabbed them, pushed them up a little bit. That gave me a little bit more of the expression I was looking for. But yeah, I'm super, super picky with my art because I don't know. I've just seen way too many comics where it looks like they rushed the art. It looks like the line art has been rushed, or like the character's facial expression is just not believable, or it just looks really kind of like it's just low quality, right? And I'm trying to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward with my art. I mean, some people might look at it and still hate it, but as long as I know that I spent my time on it, then I can be happy with it. If I can look at it and be satisfied with it, then I think other people can too. Alright. Oh man, my stomach hurts so bad. Oh, I should not have eaten those pajolis. Oh. Oh, maybe it was that spaghetti sauce. That spaghetti sauce might have been old. Oh. Anyway, that is something we're just gonna have to push through. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to this final panel. There was a little bit more I had to do with Nico here, but that's gonna be boring. It's just like a shape in the foreground that's gonna be prevalent or present there, rather. Okay, so real time. I'm going to show you how I go about drawing these characters. So let's go ahead and get into that, shall we? And in the meantime, yeah, you guys just kick back and enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I always have my character references up while I'm working on characters. Imagine that. So here's Emma's. I'm going to keep that up over here. I don't have Happy Emma. The only Happy Emma reference that I have is this one right here, which is basically, you know, all I need. It's just the same thing except their pupils are big. So I usually find myself looking at that one. So let's go ahead and get into that. And as you can see very clearly, our expression has been laid down. And that is the expression that I'm going to try to preserve as we go into the final layout. Okay? So basically the construction of Emma's head goes like this. So you create a circle, super easy. And the chin. I really like this, almost this entire shape right here. I'm probably just going to keep, because it just looks really good. Okay, and then I divide the circle in half, right? And then just below that half point, that halfway point, that's where her eyes are going to be, or start. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try actually lassoing this and bringing it down, because that is the true measurement, and I like where these eyes are. They just need to be down a little bit more. Yeah, something a little bit more like that. Yeah. I like it. Okay, so just below that halfway point is where her eyes are. And then at a resting position, if I were to divide this point in half, right, that's where the bottoms of her eyes would be. But because she's kind of like squinting and looking to the side at Nico, her eyes are going to be naturally raised up, or the bottom eyelid is going to be raised up, helping to present our expression. And yeah. Yeah, people are saying you like Emma's face in this last panel. Yes, I do too. I do too. I like it a lot. So we're gonna try to preserve this expression. So she's basically, yeah, she's got her eyes. She's actually got her eyes down and squinted, so she's looking to the side. So it's gonna be something like this. Oh yeah, she's got her her eyebrow down like this. Cool. And I want you guys to pay attention mostly to just how loose I start, right? I'm not going in here and trying to like keep all, like, look how messy this is. Like, really look how messy it is. Super, super messy. But that's okay. That is okay. Alright. I actually want her eyes to be a little bit more like that. Perfect. Okay. Then her nose is going to be dropped down a little bit. I drew the nose kind of high here. So I'm going to drop that nose down. And then I really like this cute little mouth thing she's got going on. I don't know if I want her teeth to show though. Nah, I'm probably not going to have her teeth showing. Probably just going to be like the good old open mouth with tongue. Actually, that looks weird too. Why does that look weird? It'll look good here. Oh man. See, this is where the fun part comes in, because I just redraw. I redraw faces and stuff over and over and over again. And that is going to be so fun for you guys to watch. I actually like a little bit of the teeth showing. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, this chin is just a little bit too big to be Emma's, though. We need to kind of trim that down. I'm sorry, that's not gonna work. Okay, now here's what I'm talking about. Now what I'm going to start doing is I am going to begin comparing this facial expression to the one behind it. I'm going to make sure that we're getting it. And we're pretty close, but it's not exact. Pretty close, but it's not exact. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate that layer up. Duplicate that layer up. And I'm going to try again. And I can see it immediately. Like right after I got rid of that, I can see what I did wrong. This eye is supposed to be opened a little bit more. And then this eye is supposed to be closed. A little squinted. More like that. And I think this eyebrow should be dropped down as well. Drop down and turn to the side a little bit more. I like how her eyes are, I mean, I drew them like smaller and to the side, but I just don't want her to look angry all of a sudden. I mean, no, this one won't look angry. Devious Emma. It's in between. Okay, and then her hairline comes up like this. Good. Good. But yeah, guys, like I said, I'm super picky with my faces. And in order not to bore you, I'll just stick with this one for now. And yeah, we'll just work with it. Work with it. I might make some changes to it later, but regardless, we're here now. Okay. I really do like this face. There's things about this face that I like and things that I don't like. I think that her whole entire eyes and everything, I think this whole entire face is just a little bit high. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. Again, lasso, the power of the lasso crutch. Lasso crutch. Not lasso crotch. Lasso crutch. Okay. We are suitable for all ages on this channel. Even though I just said lasso crotch. Okay. That's the hair. Kind of like that. I like how squinty her eyes are. It makes me laugh. Ah, I can't quite get it. Whatever, whatever. Just rolling with it. Okay, rolling with it. Rolling with it. Been going for about 15 minutes. Take questions in just a moment. In the meantime, see, this is a common thing that I run into actually. This is where I start refining too much. Notice how I'm like getting rid of all of these, lines right now. Technically, I should not be doing this yet because sometimes I just I get too caught up in the details. And really what I need to be doing is making sure that the entire character, like the posture and everything, is going to work here. It works. It is working here. It's working in the sketch, but I feel like there's something about the layout that's not being captured. So, again, you don't want to spend too much time on something that you might have to go back later and edit. So, let's go ahead and take care of a little bit more of this. A little more of her hair there. I do like this face. I feel like it's not completely Emma yet, though. This face is not completely Emma. It's close, but it's not quite there yet. I feel like the eyes need to be bigger. I drew the eyes too small for once. Imagine that. Yeah, I just... I'll figure it out. In fact, I'm going to try one more time with the face. Because again, look at this. See that face behind there? That's almost exactly what I want. I'm still not getting it. One more time. One more time. So one thing I'm seeing, actually, is I'm seeing that from here, it looks like her face is turned a little bit more towards us. Whereas the one that I had before, it's more turned towards Nico. And this one's more towards us. So I'm going to try almost like tracing these eyes. Yeah. There we go. I don't know, maybe I was making it way too complicated. I like that one more. I don't know. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to Nico. I'll come back to that one later. Moving on to Nico. Nico, where are you? There we go. Nico's character sheet on the other monitor. Let's go ahead and draw Nico now. Nico's expression is a little bit... Well, I don't want to jinx myself and say it's a little easier, because it might not be. But I'm going to try and capitalize. I'm going to try and improve upon what I did wrong last time. Okay? So I'm going to stay loose. Stay loose. Get this thing done. Okay? So his chin is going to drop down like this, right? Then a halfway point across the circle is going to bring us right there. And right below that is where his eyes are. So that looks like it's just right. Just right. Cool. Yeah, his eyes are almost in the perfect spot. Nailed it! And his nose, just about right. I do this thing with Nico's cheeks where I stick them out too far. Need to be brought in a little bit. And I wonder what you guys would think that they were saying. I wonder what you guys, if I let you caption this page, what you would make them say. I actually do want to do something like that. I want to do a caption this page contest or something like that. I think that would be pretty funny. You guys would come up with some really funny stuff. Really, really funny stuff. Love it. Even without me saying anything. Okay, there. So Nico is looking a little bit better, for sure. Okay. And the thing I like about Nico is his bandana is completely dependent on his eyebrows. Like, if his eyebrows are raised, his bandana has to raise too. And, like, if one eyebrow's down and the other one's up, it, like, goes diagonal. It's really, really funny. I'm actually curious to how that's going to work in animation if we were to animate him. They'd probably figure something out. It's probably not the most animator-friendly design, though. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. And it wouldn't be hard at all. Someone, I'm sure you could tell me. Alright, let's get that bandana in there. Again, staying loose. Staying loose. Get those construction lines in first. Then you go in. Fix everything up. You guys are funny. I don't know what you guys are saying. How does one stay loose when they draw? Superior123 says. Oh, I'll show you. I'll show you. Alrighty, people, we've been going for about 20 minutes now, so you know what time it is. It's time for some question catapults! Alright, people, cast your questions over the castle walls as has been instructed to you in this lovely animation. And I'll answer them. And in the meantime, let's finish up Nico's face and maybe revisit Emma's. But today's been good. I'm actually feeling really good about, just this whole next page in general. Pretty happy with it. And I'm very excited for the upcoming pages, too. The upcoming pages. We gonna be having some fun. Nico's hair looks a little bit weird. Turned into a freaking bicycle helmet all of a sudden. Yes, any questions that you have regarding the comic, design, comics in general, whatever you want, yeah. Save the art stuff for Tuesday, if you would, please. Please. Unless it's specifically tailored to comics. Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and fix this up. His neck, once again, Nico has once again become a giraffe. Look at how long his neck is. Like, if his neck touched his back, like, look at how long it would have to be. That was his shoulder. He would be a giraffe. It looks like a worm. You guys ever play Worms? Worms Armageddon. Worms 2 was the best one because you could customize the most, but Worms Armageddon had the coolest weapons. But let us not turn Nico into a worm today. Let us keep him properly set up. In fact, I'm probably just going to have to move his whole head down. But I'm going to worry about that later. Because we have to take your questions. Superior123 is asking, how long have you been working on Emma in general? I started Emma just over a year ago. I've probably been working on it for about a year and probably closing out on 3 months. Yeah. The idea for Emma I had, like the original sketch I drew years ago. That was even before I worked at Riot Games. And then just when I decided to quit, I was going to make the comic. When I decided I was going to make the comic, I was like, hey, alright, I got this other idea for a comic, but let's make Emma first because we can make all the mistakes here, we can do all of our learning here, and then Emma became way cooler than the second comic that I had in mind, and I'm really glad that I did this one first because I really like this one a lot. And I'm sure the second one will be good too. The second comic's going to be good too. Oh, I like that. I like that with his nose like kind of pointed down. That looks really funny. I like that. Let's move it over a tad bit. Questions! Pickle Child is saying, where's the forum? It's on Emma Comic Online, and you just click forum. That should take you to it. Oh, Artist Zombie is asking, who do you listen to as far as motivational speakers? His name is Jim Rohn. I'll go ahead and spell it in the chat for you. Jim Rohn. That's R-O-H-N. Really, really awesome guy. It's a bit, he's from like the 80s. Way. In fact, he recently passed away, but he's an awesome motivational speaker. I love listening to his stuff and all kinds of other things. All right. Clarice is asking, what is it like to work with someone else who writes the stories? Does it get hard sometimes? Do the ideas clash? That's a good question. It just depends on the writer that you got working with you. You have to have somebody who's okay with like coming up with a bunch of crazy ideas. You got to have somebody who just understands what it is to brainstorm and is okay with being told no. And that kind of goes into the second thing that you said, like, do your ideas clash sometimes? And yes, they do. And that's okay, because oftentimes, the ideas that someone will bring to me, and at first I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work. But then I think about it some more, and it's like, okay, let's just try it. What's the worst that could happen? It's our experimentation comic. Let's just have some fun and try it. And the worst thing that happens is it doesn't go over well. And then we can write down, okay, never do that again, But most of the time, it works out really well. Take a little risk with an idea. Have a little fun. and it ends up paying off pretty well. And yeah, the writers that I've been working with have been very, very enthusiastic, very, very fun, and are just really good at coming up with awesome ideas. And I suck at writing. I freaking suck at writing. But I know where I want the story to go, but I'm not good at actually writing it. As you can tell from the beginning of Emma, when it was just me writing it. It's like super boring, super lame. But I'm going to go back and fix those things up. Like it never happened. Like it never happened. That's the magic of a webcomic. Before you go to print, you can test your audience. Test your audience. Last question coming in. I do apologize if I'm not able to get to everybody's. Do I have any tips for someone who plans to make their own webcomic? Superior asks. Second question coming in from Superior. Good question. I really want to try one day. I have a story planned out midway, but I get nervous when I think of paneling. Yes, and I can attest all too well to that exact feeling. In fact, I still get nervous when I sit down to make this page. Like, or every page that I sit down to make, I'm like, ooh, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Oh no, her face looks all weird. I must suck as an artist, you know. But you have to be ready to just do it before you're ready. You have to jump in and you have to be ready to make mistakes because you inevitably will. And that's okay because you're going to learn from it and you're going to improve and you're going to just keep going, right? Whereas everybody else is just waiting for everything to be perfect. All those other people that have this idea for a comic, you know, I hear all the time about people that got these stories and all these ideas for comics, but they never do anything about it because they just, oh, I don't know the right people, or I need to get a writer, I haven't figured out the style, you know, all these things, you know, just kind of hold them back, but they really should just be getting started on it. That's the best advice I could give you. Just do it. But hey, I know you've heard that many times. It's a freaking platitude, and you know anybody could tell you that thing. But hopefully, if anything, my experience and my example can be a little bit more worth something to you. Alrighty, peoples! We're going to go and end today's show, episode 161 of the KNKL show. Thank you once again for joining me live on Twitch. People on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. Be sure to check out the Patreon so that way you can get yourself cool prints. You can pay whatever you want for them. You know, at least $1. Cost me a couple bucks to ship them out to you guys, and I cover that. So yeah, if that's something interested, just click that little link over there if you're on YouTube. And I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take care.